Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
mean we're not just here to bitch about life? What?
Yeah, we're not here just to bitch about scheduling. Welcome to Deep Night Revelation. We'll be picking up where we left off 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks? 3 weeks ago. Yeah, something like that. From the
Three
last
weeks.
game. 3 weeks. Yes, 3 weeks ago. Uh, so Revelation has finally crossed the last little bit, and they have entered the Terminus Point system. I mean, who knows what the real name of it is? They're just calling it Terminus Point because that's the end point where all of these issues are supposedly stemming from, and this is where Revelation has meant to be in order to investigate and hopefully stop the Deep Night entity from further uh, infection, spreading, however you want to put it. They're here to stop all of that. And when they come into the system, they knew that this system, because of the gravitational lensing and everything else, they knew that there was at least a singularity here. And come to find out now, when they get into the system, the singularity is massive, huge, and it is throwing out all sorts of interference. Their sensors are all static. All they can hear through the speakers of their comm system is nothing but this strange droning whine in multiple frequencies. The sound coming from this anomaly at the center of this system, and that is effectively blinding them upon entry from jump. And that's where we'll be picking up. So you guys are on the bridge, and all of the every screen that is a sensor on the bridge is awash in various degrees of static, and there is this whining sound, almost like a chorus of whine, some high pitched, some exceptionally low pitched, some warbling, that are coming out of every comms device on the bridge. And immediately, Revelation, the crew begins to try to clean this up. So the question I have for you initially is does one of you want to make an electronics sensors plus intellect or education check, or would you like the crew to do
I'll give it
I
a
am
go.
not the guy.
it? Or you can do a mix of. Oh well, there you go. You have cleared up. So Mel goes over and he's adjusting, trying to attenuate these sensors, and you do make a little bit of headway. You're not really getting a full, complete picture yet, but what you are picking up, you are able to see that this entire system here is centered on a gravitic and electromagnetic anomaly that is approximately 2.4 AU in diameter. Oh, I'm sorry, 2.4 AU in radius. The anomaly at the center of this system is orbited by another star that you are able to pick out of the static, and that star is orbited by what appear to be three terrestrial rocky planets. The anomaly is also orbited by multiple other planetary bodies, some that are inside the orbit of the companion star, and there are others that are outside of it that are actually orbiting the anomaly itself. Let me. So the Sense Ops team, in addition, is able to pick up that. Let's see here. They are able to pick up that the second planet orbiting the companion star appears to have atmosphere and water. They are also detecting that there is a second gravitic anomaly in the outer system, like at far edge orbit of the companion, or not the companion, far edge orbit of the anomaly. But it is exceptionally small compared to this 2.4 AU radius glob of gravity and electromagnetic mass sitting at the middle. So it's infinitesimally small. And the last piece of information is that there are no signals or emissions in this system that suggest intelligent life or technological civilization. Everything is the only transmissions that are being picked up are the ones coming basically from these anomalies and possibly a gas giant. So the next question is, where do you want to focus the science team and sensors on? What do you want to prioritize? You could focus the attention initially on the central anomaly. You could focus attention on the companion star and its system. You could focus on that secondary small anomaly. Where would you like to begin your investigation of this system?
I'll be damned if I know.
I say flip a coin. Let's go.
Well, I mean,
I don't know. Can we flip a coin because there's 3 of them, right?
there's at least 3 options.
Right.
I mean, the most obvious point, of course, would be to focus on the bulk of all of this static and attenuation is coming from the central anomaly. So maybe, that's the obvious elephant in the star system, right? If you can clean that up, you might get a better picture of the rest of the system. So doing that, ooh, damn, that's a good roll. So essentially, this takes the science division about 3 hours of fiddling with their different arrays, and there are a number of these scientists on the bridge that are radioing to the science division, and making adjustments back and forth over internal comms. And the 3 scientists that are on the bridge kind of get it. I don't want to necessarily say an argument. It's not even a heated discussion, but they all seem to have different theories. And at the end of this 3 hours of these guys bickering back and forth about which theory is right, they finally come to the consensus of a workable, likely situation. They tell you that the central anomaly can be best described as a shell. It is made up of point gravity sources of enormous intensity, and these singularities are in no way identical, but they are of each of them are of similar magnitude of power. And they seem these individual point gravity anomalies seem to move within the shell in a constant and apparently random manner that causes the shell to neither get larger nor smaller, and it does not collapse. And one scientist says, but it should collapse, but it doesn't. And the behavior of these point gravity sources, basically their statement is that the movement of them defies all laws of physics. And they can only conclude that they cannot possibly be a natural occurrence. But they have no real hypothesis as to what could be causing this behavior. So this 4.8 AU astronomical unit diameter is basically an eggshell, and there's something inside of it.
What?
Now, in that, they
Yeah. What the hell? What?
right.
Yeah, my brain. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to come back to that a little bit more, please.
So essentially, it would be like, so everybody. I mean, I would hope by 2026 we would all know this. So sometimes black holes eat one another, right? That's
Oh,
not what.
yes.
That's not what's going on.
Right.
That's not what's going on here. Instead, you have multiple black holes that are, it's several of them, that are moving around something in the middle, but they're not eating each other, and they're not eating whatever's inside. And naturally occurring, if this shouldn't this shouldn't be at all, right? But if it, for whatever reason, was, the laws of physics would say that all of these would collapse in on themselves and either, obliterate themselves or form a one big black hole, which none of that's happening. They just keep floating around in this sphere. And so the scientists are, it really raises more questions for them than answers, but this is what they have determined is going on. Now, of course, in the process of clearing up that all of that static, they have been able to take a look at, and now that the static is cleared up, I can show you this. So this is what this system looks like if you really want to blow your noggin. This is a complicated star system. They're essentially just calling this thing the gravitic shell, for lack of a better term. It is directly orbited by a small gas giant, and there is a planetoid belt orbiting it. And like I said, this shell in and of itself would be 4.8 AU in diameter. And so, I mean, this gas giant would have to be, well, this gas giant, I suppose, would probably be about where Jupiter is in our system now, which would put this planetoid belt around where Saturn is. So that's not that unusual. But then orbiting this whole mess in an elliptical orbit is this K8 main sequence companion star that they say appears to be an ordinary K8. It's an orange main sequence star. Outer planet. What do they mean by outer planet? Its outer planet is a super Earth. The others are apparently terrestrials. Spectrographic analysis suggests that the middle and outer planets. Okay, so number 2 and number 3 are registered as having. Let's see, the super Earths of the 3 has a carbon dioxide nitrogen mix. The number 2 has a. I'm sorry. The super Earth is a carbon dioxide nitrogen mix. Number 2 is a smaller terrestrial that has a nitrogen oxygen mix combined with likely temperature conditions. This indicates their hypothesis is that an entity could be present on either or both of these worlds, assuming that there is suitable food for it to feed on. But they, at this range, because of the interference, you'd need to get closer to take a look.
Could the fungus itself generate enough mass if it just fed on everything to like be in there? Just like as its own body.
You mean in the gravitic shell?
Yeah.
Don't know. I mean, obviously, because it is essentially a bunch of black holes orbiting around something. There's no way your sensors are going to go through that. In fact, I mean, So, Pappy, you can make a. Just go ahead and roll 2d.
Did Pappy ask a question above his pay grade?
Not necessarily. Let me
Feel
take.
like it did. Feel like that was above my pay grade.
Not really. Actually, being a pilot. I guess this is. No. See here. Pappy can make a piloting starship plus intellect check or education, your choice.
Plus intellect.
Perfect. So you're kind of looking at this mess, and you are able to determine that. I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter that that Deepnight Revelation is a 75,000 ton converted warship. Even it is not capable of going through that shell to see what's inside. At this point, it's impossible to get in there.
Okay, so
You would
there's
think
no going in there.
you would think that it would completely tear the ship apart. The other thing that you are probably more than aware of is that um, even if you were able to get in there, the ship would, if it survived, it would be badly damaged. And even if it wasn't badly damaged, you wouldn't be able to jump because this. So the regular jump diameter for a ship is within 100 planetary diameters of whatever source that you came into. So if you jumped close to number 3, you would have to be 100 diameters away. Otherwise, because of the mass of that planet, making the jump can cause you to misjump. This thing being 2.4 AU in radius would be such a massive disruption that the jump drive probably wouldn't even activate. So,
Ain't no way in hell you gonna get me to fly anywhere near that thing.
oh yeah, I would think as a pilot you would be looking at this with a sense of horror. Like this is a worse. Now the reality of a black hole is so like, and it's not. Yeah, black holes are terrifying, no shit, but they're not as scary as sci-fi movies would have us believe. Because the reality is that let's say that our star right now in real life, Sol, went blinked out and collapsed upon itself and turned into a singularity, and we somehow skipped the nova event and all the other shit that's going to go on, right? Let's say it just collapsed into itself. The reality of the matter is that none of the orbits of our worlds would change. We wouldn't all suddenly get sucked into the black hole. Because even if it collapsed down to a singularity, it still would only have the one solar mass that it had before, so none of the orbits would change.
Oh.
So there's that. I mean, if you were sitting on Mercury, you'd probably be shitting your pants because you'd have a front row seat to stuff going into the event horizon, which is terrifying in and of itself because it looks like it hits the event horizon and then it stops moving. It never moves again. And so, because that's the point where the laws of physics just kind of break down. So they're not nearly as it's not as scary as you would think. But this system, with everything that's going on, obviously this K8 companion star was captured at some point. Um, well, let me go through each of these. Where is my? Oh, I know where. I know. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So, oh, maybe I did. Okay, that's fine. So, Terminus Point 1. Okay, yeah. So this body appearing. Hold on. Let me make sure. Oh no no. Okay. This one right here. This at first appears to be a small gas giant. Um, but now that they have looked at it a little bit more, they have discovered that it is actually the remnant of a large gas giant. So it has had a lot of its outer layers of its atmosphere stripped off. Its atmosphere is elongated on the side facing towards the gravitic shell, and it is clear that Terminus Point 1 is doomed to be absorbed into the shell itself within probably the next couple million years. So it's basically its atmosphere is just getting sucked off into this shell of singularities. The planetoid belt is Terminus Point 2, and they have identified it as a belt, but further analysis suggests that it is probably the remains of an entire planet that has been broken up. And the belt is exceptionally uneven, taking the form of an elongated clump of planetoids and dwarf planets. A few of the planetoids are far from the clump, most are spiraling in towards the gravitic shell, and some have been completely ejected from the system entirely. So they kind of spin around because this thing is in a kind of a egg shape. They kind of pick up velocity and sometimes spin and get hucked out of the system, which might explain how some of that stuff eventually got all the way uh, back to charted space in the first place, right? Um,
This was somebody's attempt to stop the fungus the first time.
Yeah, it
I mean
sounds like
that's
it.
one hypothesis. Now, Pappy would also know that it would be possible if you wanted to poke around in this belt. that that would mean getting closer to the gravitic shell, but you know that it would be possible if you were to take like like the Destinex, one of the Deep Night Scouts, or actually even a one of the launches or a pinnace, which is even smaller. You could actually maneuver through this belt, the clumps, but um, if Revelation were to go in there, it would probably just get pummeled um, by this fast moving junk of a planet, of the remains of a planet that's swirling around the toilet bowl here. Over here, the Terminus Point companion, uh, scans show that this looks to be a typical K8 orange main sequence star. Uh, in reality, and the scientists seem a little bit disappointed. They're like, in reality, its composition would usually be considered unremarkable if we were to find it in any other system. But here, it's definitely strange. Um, Companion looks like it probably at one time orbited the system much further out, um, but was drawn in by this this gravitic shell, and it appears, according to the computer models, it appears that there was some other star at the center of this system in the past, millions, possibly billions of years ago. and because of this gravitic shell, it caused a significant acceleration of the orbit that led to uh, a vast distortion of this star as it kind of came in, and so it has this elongated ellipse that causes further warping and stretching of the star. Um, at its closest approach to the gravitic shell, the companion almost completely becomes oval. So if you like here and well, no, it would be right here. So this star traveling this dotted line, when it reaches this point, it goes almost flattens out, and then it bounces back. Um, the star is orbited by three bodies. All are terrestrial planets of one sort or the other. Their orbits around the K8 star are also extremely eccentric, suggesting that they were either captured here or even more likely greatly perturbed because of this gravitic shell disrupting the entire system. Terminus Point 1 here has this code, so there ain't much there. The first is 7 for size, so it's a decent size. Specifically, it is about 11,200 kilometers in diameter. Looks like it was once a rockball world of no real significance. It looks like when their sensors are looking at it, they suggest that this planet belongs way further out in the system. Like if it were our own system, you're probably looking at a chunk of planet that would be probably past Neptune. It should be a this side of the Oort cloud kind of thing, or the Kuiper belt. Um, it seems like the planet was forced to plunge inward and was captured by the K8 star. It's subjected to high stress and enormous stellar heating uh, because of the result of its orbit around the star and the star's orbit around the gravitic shell. So this inner planet number 1 here is stretched and back, which causes a lot of molten rock to be on its surface. It's never fully cooled to a normal planetary state. It's almost completely the surface of it is almost always in a liquid state. Companion 2. Hmm, I need to look at this sheet. I know. Oh wait. Anyways, uh, both of you roll a d6.
Just one?
Just one.
So rare.
You got a
I
6
don't
and
know if
a
that's bad or
2.
good.
So
One of us got it.
so Sarda is on the bridge with you guys, and he all of a sudden kind of grabs his head, kind of like he's suddenly got like a sinus headache, and he tells you, obviously he pulls kind of he doesn't pull you aside because you're in the middle of things, but he whispers to each of you that he knows the name of this planet, and he tells you it is Kroilos. Both of you, if either one of you want to, you can look up. He tells you that Kroilos is a droid name. You
Is
can
this like,
of course look it up if you would like.
I mean, sure.
Um,
I'm not currently piloting, so sure, why not?
Yeah, no, you're not. Yeah, right now, Revelation is kind of doing station keeping out here at the edge of all of this, and kind of observing to decide what the hell it wants to do. Um, go ahead and make a. This is going to be a routine check, 6 plus. Go ahead and make an electronics, computers plus intellect or education.
Oh, that's
Electronics
for sure me.
computer.
There you go, Mel. Okay. So you determine that Kroilos is a droid word that refers to a group of companions who are away from their parent society or they have effectively no family. It's a it is described as being a very lonely feeling word in the droid vocabulary.
This is
Um,
the Lonely Planet.
Evidently, it is roughly Earth-sized. It is a terrestrial planet in an elliptical orbit, but it has all of the hallmarks of at one point it was an ice ball. So this is another world that was likely way out at the edge of the system and was captured and brought in millions or billions of years ago. And over this amount of time, it has developed this oxygen nitrogen atmosphere. Current spectrographic analysis suggests that the planet has a breathable atmosphere and a, would be a bit chilly, but but still considered a shirt sleeves environment. You, they're not detecting any taint in the atmosphere. I don't think. Let me verify that. So it's a 6. Well, they said Earth-like. It's only about 9,600 kilometers in diameter. It has a thin atmosphere with a pressure of 0.43 to zero point 0.7, and it looks like it has a few small seas with anywhere from 16 to 25% hydrographic. So it does have seas, but they're going to be very, very shallow. I mean, comparatively. Um, it does show signs, even from this range, that it has been impacted by numerous asteroids. Terminus Point 3, this one, is a super Earth. It has, oh boy, it has a surface gravity of 1.9 Gs. And it looks like it's actually sitting in its original orbit. So this is out of all of these, this is the only planet that looks like it is where it is supposed to be. Has a thick carbon dioxide nitrogen atmosphere. Traps considerable amount of heat due to the greenhouse effect. Result is that despite orbiting at the very outer edge of the star's warm companion or warm zone, this companion 3 has liquid water. Atmospheric composition suggests life may be present, but it will not be possible to determine more unless you make a close flyby of the planet. You're probably not going to want to land on that planet because 1.9 Gs is scary. You're going to suddenly be quite weighty getting down there. This Terminus Point 4 is an ice ball orbiting the the distant outer system. It looks like this world, according to what they're seeing, it doesn't necessarily mean that it was here originally, but it seems to be undisturbed with all the other chaotic crap that's going on in the solar system. Um, it doesn't. Oh, this will tell me. For a 1, so it's about 6,400 kilometers in diameter. Thin, tainted atmosphere would require a filter mask. Pressure is 0.43 to zero point 0.7, and only 6 to 15% hydrographics. It is a cold, dry world. Out, out.
Cold, dry, so probably no life. Of
Yeah.
all the craziness in this area, that's the one I might do a flyby.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it would be highly unlikely, but not impossible. I mean, the atmosphere would support it. This large gas giant is an eccentric. It's known as eccentric body alpha, a large gas giant that once seems to have orbited. Uh, if there was a star originally in this system, it would have been right about here, and it looks like this gas giant, this eccentric large gas giant, originally orbited that primary. Um, it is now in a highly elliptical orbit around the gravitic shell, and it is, let's see, highly elliptical, and even at its closest approach, it is within 35 AU from the gravitic shell. So I mean, it's got it's got some good distance on it. So following this dotted line, I mean, up here, that's still 35 AU away. Um, the large gas giant has no moons, but it is trailing behind it a bunch of um, planetoids, like asteroids and whatnot, but they don't necessarily orbit it. It's more like they're chasing it as it's whipping around the system. Uh, Here it is. This is way out there. Terminus Point eccentric body beta looks like it was actually formerly a moon that was torn away and then just kind of stuck in this orbit around the system. Its orbit is hugely elongated. Da, da, da. It almost comes to a stop at the apogee of its orbit. Uh, Perigee is inside the orbit of Alpha at around 25 AU from the shell. So that's what we know about the system.
Yeah, it's an unsolvable fish mission. We can't fix it. Let's go.
Time to get out of here. We've done all we can. So this is all of this information coming together. The scientists have the three scientists on the bridge with you guys. After explaining all of this and the data that is flooding in now, they tell you that they are of the opinion that um, none of this is natural. This is not the result of a passing black hole. This is not a result of um, a supernova, that happened 3 or 4 parsecs away. This is this is all completely unnatural and shouldn't exist. So then the question is, so like I said, Sarda tells you that he knows that this planet is called Kroilos. You know that Kroilos is a droid name and what it means. The captain and the first officer, the XO, are They're at a loss. They're kind of waiting for more information to come in from the science team. What do you guys want to investigate? I mean, this is the end point. You know that somewhere here, this is the origin point of the Deep Night entity. So where would you like to examine?
Oof.
Okay. I definitely want to try and do a flyby on 3 to see what we can glean from it.
Okay.
You said 2 was the one that had the name?
Yes, 2 is known as Kroilos or Kroilos.
That seems hard to get to from what you described, but maybe send in a small ship or a probe or something to see what it can find there.
Okay, you could. I mean, yeah. Um, if you wanted to do the distance from 3 to 2, probably pretty vast. I would say if you wanted to launch a probe, um, well, here, why don't we start? Why don't we start with where do you want to park? Um, where do you want to park Deepnight Revelation right now, for now? I mean, obviously it's going to have to refuel. So, I mean, this gas giant is as far out as you can get and refuel. I mean, nowhere in here is it going to be easy to refuel for the ship's pilots. We can just put it that way. Because all of these gas giants are all getting disturbed. Actually, this gas giant right here, number 3, is the least disturbed because if you follow this orange line, it's going, oh, I guess it does kind of get close here, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, none of these are ideal. It's going to be a bumpy ride while they're skimming hydrogen.
What if we skim off the stuff that's being sucked in, or do we not want to get? Oh, we'd have to be way close for when that happens.
Yeah, you don't. I mean,
Nope, nope,
you
nope,
could
nope.
theoretically do it here, and you could, or on this gas giant as it passes right here. You could do it on this one
Mm.
as it passes right here. And I mean, that's still, I mean, from here to
It's still way
here,
too close to there.
from here to here, we already know is like 35 AU. From that would make this one probably closer to like 65 AU. Yeah,
So
this
when it passes the gravitic shell, it like loses some of its mass every pass,
yes.
and then like it kind of like recenters on itself as it goes away.
Yeah, eventually, I mean, if this goes on for I don't know, another 100 million to 200 million years, the same thing is going to happen to these two gas giants that happened to this one. This one used to be a large gas giant, but it has had
Gotcha. Okay.
its outer atmosphere stripped off by by the gravitic shell because it's so close to it. So I mean 100 200 million years, these two large gas giants will be small gas giants.
I mean, I feel like in terms of just raw distance right now, we could hit a large gas giant 3 as it's probably getting closer to those to K8 star and all that stuff. Get our fueling on, do some jump ish to 3, do the flyby there, see what we see. Come back as probably the giant's closer at that point as it's making its orbit or whatever, assuming they're going. Are they going clockwise or counterclockwise?
Uh, they are going counterclockwise.
Okay. That's what I thought, yeah. Okay. Then I don't know why I thought that. I just did. All right. It feels like getting Deep Night to Large Gas Giant 3 and then trying to from there get over to Planet 3, scan that. Maybe while we're at 3, fire off a probe to 2.
Right. Okay.
Figure out, like, look at our data at 3 while we're doing that. Back by the gas giant again. And then maybe we'll know what we want to do with 2 by the time we're done with that.
Okay. So,
Because I feel like that's all going to take a lot of time anyway.
so one last piece of information.
Oh, now you want to give me one last piece of information after I keep the whole plan. See how it is.
Well, I mean, what you decide to do with this, is entirely up to you. But out around right here is where they detected that second gravitational anomaly, and they have now kind of gone over the sensor records from when Revelation first emerged from Jump. And they, at first looking at it, these scientists are like, well, that looks similar to a maneuver drive of a starship. Then, after looking at it a little bit more, they see that so when a ship comes out of Jump, it obviously would send out gravitational ripples throughout the system, because all entering or exiting Jump, you're basically coming out of a wormhole. So you're basically coming out of a singularity or entering or exiting a singularity. And so this sends out gravitational ripples like a rock thrown into a pond. And when those ripples reached the location where this anomaly was detected, there was a spike in its gravitational activity, which acts like either a ship that has detected a ship coming out of Jump and is making a run to try to hide, or it might be a Leviathan, one of the space whales. And it looks like it was making a run for eccentric body Alpha once it detected those gravitational ripples from your emergence from Jump space.
We're not alone.
Or it's a or it's a ship. I mean, it could be one of the Leviathan space whales. You're not sure, but compared to the gravitic shell, I mean, it's infinitesimally small. If it wasn't for your,
like how we would appear,
if
kind
it
of like how we would appear almost.
right. If it wasn't for your guys' rock star roles, you probably wouldn't have been able to get any information on it at all. The fact that it was so far out of the system is the only thing that really made it stand out. So I don't know if that changes your plan at all.
I mean, only in the sense that it kind of makes me want to, like, might as well. I mean, we're closest to it where we started before we moved to the gas giant. It's almost like, well, maybe do the flyby there and see what that was
Do the
before
flyby
moving on. But we,
of eccentric body Alpha.
whatever that. Yeah, I mean, might as well. If that's where we saw the gravitational thing go, like, maybe there's something else out here that's looking for this. Maybe we're not the only ones trying to solve the problem.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think about that plan?
You guys are. This is one of the disadvantages of not playing for the last 30 years. I have all this talk of the various things flying around in space and where they are. I am thoroughly fucking lost.
Me too.
I will go.
It makes you feel better. I have no
whatever
idea
the
what I'm
fuck
saying. I'm
you-
hoping it's right.
you want to do. Pick something and let's go.
That's kind of what I did. I just came up with a random ass plan. I don't know anything. I said,
That sounds
"Need a
good.
plan. This
I'm
sounds
fully
fun."
behind you. Fully behind you.
Cool.
So,
Crazy plan that
so
doesn't.
you want to check out this the second gravitational anomaly at the large gas giant and get a closer look at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just
Yes.
going in order of like I'm literally working my way into the stuff that I want to do. Just starting farthest out and going in. That's my plan.
That
That's farther away from the gravity shell. That's next farther from the gravity shell. We can refuel there and still get closer to the gravity shell. That's my plan.
that's actually not a bad plan. I mean, like I said,
Solid plan.
yeah, one black hole is scary enough. If you got hundreds of them that are orbiting one another, that would be terrifying. So starting at the back of the room and moving your way towards the big scary nothingness would probably be the
Well,
safest
if
option.
if my time playing No Man's Sky has taught me anything, I know that flying into a black hole will lead me to someplace else in the galaxy.
Yes, I remember the first time I did that. I was like, "Oh, this is a terrible idea." Because I'm pretty sure that that's not how that works at all. But but anyways, so so you're sending Pappy is suggesting that you want to send Revelation to refuel at the gas giant and kind of kill two birds with one stone with by investigating this anomaly at the same time, right? I mean that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yes,
Yeah, we can do
that
so.
sounds like
We can do a
one
quick
hell of
fuel
a
here.
plan.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Do a quick fuel while we check it out, and we can move on to the other one. Do a full fuel.
Okay. So as you so I mean from your point out in the system, it doesn't take you too long to get to this gas giant. Probably I would say probably a day and a half, even at Revelations thrust, which I want to say is thrust 4. Let me double check that. Da, da, da. Yes, here we go. I better just leave that up because we'll probably want that in a minute. Yes, it is thrust 4. And it has a deep space maneuvering system. We won't get into the technicalities of that. But, so yeah, at thrust 4, it probably takes you the better part of a day. And I mean, the astrogator would have planned for a very wide system entry from jump because you guys already knew that there was a singularity here, right? You're not going to let's not jump to within 100 diameters of a black hole. That's a bad idea. So it only takes you
Mhm.
about a day, maybe day and a half to get to this eccentric body alpha. And as I said, this thing is kind of trailing behind it. This small asteroid belt. It doesn't really if it wasn't for the gravitic shell and this orbit wasn't so elliptical, this trailing mix of rocky debris would probably form a ring around this gas giant, just like a normal ring system. But instead, it trails behind it. And sensor ops is detecting that there is something moving. Uh, Basically, it's dipping into the back end of this gas giant and then coming back out and moving in and out through these trailing asteroids. There's just it might be a ship that's refueling, or it could be a Leviathan. They're still not quite sure. One of you could
Hmm.
make an electronic sensors intellect or education, and you get to add a +3 to that for revelation sensors.
That would be you, definitely.
You said sensors, right? It's not comms.
Correct. But you can use your education, and you get another +3 on top of that. So
So it's 10 if we
yeah,
get +3.
yeah. So you do you do kind of clean things up, and you get a good look at this thing. And let me double check what range are we looking at here. So it's at very long range, and you're able to. Oh no, it wouldn't be because you're not going to get anything visual with that. Probably about medium range is when you are able to um, start to get a picture of this thing. And what you detect is that it is a Leviathan. But with your 10, you are able to detect that there is definitely something wrong with this Leviathan. Let's see. Did I not? Hold on just a second, because I have a picture for this. You gotta have a picture. Can't believe I missed that. There we go. So Leviathan, come on, computer, thank you. Leviathan usually look like this. That is what a healthy Leviathan looks like. This
Okay.
Leviathan looks like this.
Ugh.
Pretty.
And this thing is probably one of the bigger Leviathans that you've ever seen. Your sensor scan, Mel, you look at this, and as soon as you're able to get visual on it, you've seen enough of the deep night infection. You can see that this thing is infected. Now,
Oh.
there's numerous problems with that because Leviathan are able to jump.
Kill it with fire.
Yeah, I mean you can obviously, I mean it's not like you're going to be able to save it, right? Yeah, you can get into lay combat.
You can put it out of its misery at least.
So this thing, by the time you're able to get recognition on this thing, it is medium range. I'll bring this back up for you that you can look at your leisure. So, I mean, there's a whole bunch of guns.
What's that smaller thing coming off of the giant whale? Is that like a smaller?
Yeah, well,
Is
yeah,
it spitting the? Is it spitting the thing?
you're gonna find out.
I don't want to find out. I mean, I do, but not in the way that you want me to.
uh,
It attacks with the deep night. Just it attacks with the fungus. Just pew
just
pew
just
pew.
just hucks a loogie on you. Okay, that should. there. Do that. Do that. Both of you go ahead and roll initiative. 2D plus dex or intellect. Your choice.
Hey, we got good initiatives.
Yeah, you did. All right, Mel. This thing's at medium range, and it looks it now that it has realized that Revelation is coming towards that large gas giant. It has turned and it is moving towards Revelation. What would you like to do? Any ideas?
Well, yeah. Well, shit.
So let's see. Let me get some range. So it has obviously Revelation has a particle accelerator on the spinal mount that does 2dd damage. And it says it is improved. Look at weapons and screens. Spinal mount. Combat base, small weapon base, medium weapon base. Spinal mount weapons. It has a range of very long, so I mean you could drill it with the spinal mount at this range. Aside from that, Revelation has 8 fusion barbettes, uh, 8 triple turrets that are all sandcasters, and 18 triple turrets that are beam lasers, and then it has 2-point defense batteries for incoming missiles and things like that. So I mean, you could go big and go with the particle accelerator. And skill for this, I mean, you can obviously order the gunnery crews to do whatever it is that you want them to do. Um,
Well, I am. I don't know if I have ever said, "Hey, let's shoot that big fucking spinal mount." So, but I don't have any of the skills to shoot pew pews in space. I have
So
zero of
yeah,
those skills.
this would be a gunner capital role. So instead, what you could do is you could make a leadership plus social check, which would give them a bonus to their attack if you wanted to do it that way.
I'm a 0 in leadership,
The
so
the
I'm a
other
1 in gunner and a 0 in leadership.
So the other thing that Mel could do is Mel could also, I mean, you've got a couple of options here. You could also make an electronic sensors plus intellect or education check to lock the target, which would give an automatic +1 to gunnery crews.
Well, now leadership is untrained, so I guess I'm going to go
And
with that option.
Okay.
I have a
Music
0. I
Max.
have a 0. I have like a basic in leadership. It's at least trained.
Yeah, spinal mount weapons would be gunner capital. Um, Everything else would be gunner turret.
I have gunner turret.
So then you could use like the fusion barbats or the beam lasers or pretty much anything else. Sandcasters if there's people boarding. Man, I better get a calculator up. So just to tell you how big this thing is, it is 10,000 hits.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Can we like thrust away from it as we're fighting it? Because I feel like it might be faster and it might be pretty fast in space.
Uh, yes. So, so what you have observed in the past is that Leviathan have like they would have a thrust score of 6, so 2 more than Revelation. They are very fast. You don't know what
So
their
big and fast. Okay.
you don't know what their jump rating is. The assumption could be that I mean, at this size, I mean, you would think that if they're able to move that fast, it could be, at least as much as Deepnight Revelation. They may have a 4 parsec jump range, but nobody knows. It's not like it's not like, I don't know if either one of you watched Star Wars Ahsoka, where they flew the ship inside the space whale's mouth and then it jumped.
No, I
Nobody,
didn't see that.
nobody. That's probably for the best. I'm going to be honest, but nobody's done that, so you have no idea how far these things can jump. I mean, it's possible they could jump twice as far. I mean, the theoretical limit, according to the Third Imperium jump science, is that you can't jump further than 6 parsecs. But you don't know. I mean, they used to think that there was nothing faster than light speed. And then they discovered how to jump, and they don't really understand that either. So yeah, I mean, Mel could do an electronic sensors plus education check with a +3 to lock a target, and that would give everybody a +1 to hit. There you
That's
go.
with +3.
There you go. So let me mark him. Mark him with that. So he is now painted. The target is locked. Gunnery crews, everybody is aiming on him with full support of the sensors. Pappy, what would you like to do?
Uh, um,
So
shit.
if you use the spinal mount, if you I'm assuming you only have turret, right? You don't have any.
Yeah, I have turret.
So
Yeah,
that would mean that you could still make a gunner plus 0 plus your
yeah.
dexterity plus the +1 for Mel's sensor lock, and then let me verify this. And then
So I'm at least at a +2 now, with between Dex and that +1.
software. Oh, fire control 5. So you could take +5 to that to hit this thing with the spinal mount. So that would be a total with the sensor lock of a +6 on top of your gunnery +0 plus dexterity modifier.
I'm down for that.
Okay. You can do it. I have faith.
Cheat.
That's a hit. That's a hit. I mean, it's
I did damn near as worse as I could do, and still somehow came out with a 10.
it's an ugly roll, but it got the job done. So roll 2d times 10.
2D times 10. How the hell do I do times 10? Are we doing math on the back end?
Yeah, you're gonna have to do the math on the back end.
Okay. I was like, how the hell do I fucking fuck?
So 50, or is it?
Yeah, you said times 10.
Yeah,
Spinal mount did more than times 10, but okay.
yeah. Wait, no, you're right.
Is that because we're fighting a space creature?
No. Let's see here. Spinal mounts. They're the ultimate in shipborne firepower, huge weapons that run the entire length of the ship. Yes. Damage from spinal weapon hits is multiplied by 1,000 in bold.
Oh, so 5,000.
Yeah. That's
We took half its life.
all spinal
Did you
weapons.
say it had 10 or 15?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you say it had 10, 15, or 50?
As 10,000.
Okay, so we took half its life.
So it says spinal mount weapons have suffer a DM -4 when attacking targets of 10,000 tons or less. This is at least 10,000 tons. That's not a problem. In addition, spinal weapons incur negative DMs against ships of all sizes at adjacent or short range. You are not. You are at medium. Spinal weapons also require vast reserves of power, and naval architects might consider using high-efficient batteries to allow a spinal weapon to charge over time. So how often can this thing shoot? Wait a minute. This is a particle spinal mount does 8D. Improved 2DD. Okay. I'm wondering if this is because it got neutered in the in shipyard before it was sent.
Mm.
Interesting. Uh, okay. Damage dealt by a particle spinal mount is reduced by 3% per point of armor possessed by the target before applying the damage multiple. So, you got a 5. Its armor is 12. So that's 36%.
So 36% off of the 5.
Which means it's going to take 3.2. So
3,200.
3,200 is how much
Okay.
it would take. Geez, final mounts, be more complicated. That's still painful. Okay, so Pappy hits the big red button, and a blast of lightning shoots out of the nose of Revelation and strikes this Leviathan right in the snout. It seems to take it pretty well, but
Okay.
now I have to decide what it wants to do here.
It
So,
shrugs off the giant bolt of electricity that it hit.
oh yeah, yeah. It is going to. It's going to spit. Oh, I see. Okay, this makes sense. So it's going to spit at Revelation.
Are we Oh, I forgot to have us reverse thrust. That would have been the idea instead of shooting. Shit, that was what I was supposed to tell them to do on my turn.
You were so excited in the actual that you drilled this thing with the particle mount that you forgot.
Damn it. As soon as you said spit, I was like, oh, right. Forgot a step there.
So it spits out 5 like fragments. It just and like 5 of these things come flying towards Revelation, but they miss. And it basically, these things just look like fragments or chunks. You've seen it before. They look like chunks of the fungal matter. It's just spitting towards you, and out of all of each of these chunks that fly by and miss you, you can see a number of like tentacles and tendrils sticking out that are kind of waving around, like they fly by trying to grab onto Revelation but miss. And it is going to accelerate towards Revelation, which means that in this round, because it was at the edge of medium, it immediately comes to the edge of close. Mel, what would you like to do?
It's in close now?
It's at the edge of close. It's still medium range, but next round it will be closing in.
Gonna die.
I have to give I'm going to try to give another set of our capital gunners an edge by again using the sensors, because I do not have that fucking capability.
Okay.
I don't.
I mean, here's the other thing you could do. So fire control /5. So that can be broken up in a number of ways. It can give one gunner a +5, which is what you did last round. It can give no gunner a +5, or it can give none of you guys a +5, and instead it can give 5 +1s to gunners, or it can give a +3 to one of the fusion barbettes and a +2 to a beam laser. Or, and this is a little bit confusing because they have two pieces of software that essentially do the same thing. This is not unusual in Traveler, but it can be used as automated fire control. So you could fire 5 beam lasers all with a +1, or you could fire, automated. The computer could fire the spinal mount with a +5. So there's a number of different ways that you could use this fire control. You could give yourself. Do you have a gunner at all?
I do not.
Okay.
Something has disabled my fucking control button, so I have to manually hit it rather than hit another hot mapped key.
Oh, that's odd.
Wait, I could have been hot mapping stuff this whole time?
You guys are hot mapping things?
Yeah, I'm a big macro guy. This is pissing me off that I can't.
There's all sorts of things that you can do with this character sheet that I find, if you really want to dig into it. But on the flip side, I really wish that Mongoose would revamp the character sheet, because if you look at the character sheet that they did for Paranoia, it's amazing, because the character sheet for Paranoia in Roll20 looks exactly the same as if you printed it out on your printer and were playing at a tabletop game. This character sheet looks nothing like the printable PDF that you get from Mongoose's website, and I really wish it did. But, I mean, wish in one hand, shit in the other, and see which one fills up faster, because I've been asking for that for like the last 2 years, and I've gotten fuck all, so I don't know. So I mean, yeah, so you could use that fire control. I mean, if you don't have gunner at all, that would still give you a +2 to your roll, plus your dex, if you used all of it. See, and here's the other thing about that too, is that, so Pappy has turret. That turret also applies to barbettes.
Yeah, my turret I think is where are you at? Gunner turret. Yeah, I have a level 1 in that, so it would be a total of a +2. It's not like insanely better, but 2 is 2.
Or you can't, or Mel, you could do your original idea and use that electronic sensors, and um, I can give you a piece of information that might be highly valuable because it's a safe bet you're going to make that electronic sensor.
Yeah, I think I might go with the higher.
Probability.
Yeah. See?
Okay, so the you continue the lock on the Leviathan, but um, as you are focusing the sensors on this infected Leviathan, you determine. So normally the particle spinal mount weapon has a secondary trait of radiation, right? So this Leviathan should be awash in radioactive decay from this particle beam. What you're noticing is that it seems to be absorbing all of that radiation.
Hell no. It better not spit it back at us.
Well,
Yeah, that would be bad.
yeah. So you see on the sensors that it is just absorbing this radiation. Pappy, what would you like to do?
Captain, I think you should put the ship in reverse. Get us back. This thing is coming for us.
Okay, so the captain can do that, and he orders uh, uh, helm astern, and he succeeds. So thrust 4, that's going to move you about that much further away. At least it gets it away from that edge of the close range. So you order them to reverse. Giving an order is a free action. They were the ones that went ahead and did that. Well, is there another order that you want to give, or do you want to make a shot? What would you like to do?
I am now nervous about that whole absorbing radiation thing. And as much as I would love to like hit it again and be like, yeah, boy, um, I don't want it to give back the radiation we've been giving it. But I could also do a butt ton more damage if I roll better than a 1 and a 2.
Yeah, I mean, so you also have. Let's see here. Let me look at my barbette.
I'm like,
So there are 8 fusion barbettes. They have AP3. So um, say goodbye to its armor, or at least part of it. But they also have the radiation trait. And then of course there are what 13.
and the barbets can hit at medium range.
Oh, that's a good question. Barbette. I'm sure that they can. Yeah, in fact, medium range is their range. And then
Okay, like that's their bread and butter. Okay.
and then they have and then the ship has sorry, math. So it's got 13 triple turrets, each with 3 beam lasers for a total of 104 beam lasers. I I would honestly simplify that if you if you wanted to give an order like a broadside, I would just say, okay, you know, split this number in half, and there's 52 on each side of the ship, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
just roll to hit, and then multiply it by 52. Now, the nice thing about beam lasers is they do not have the radiation trait, which is a little weird considering the whole thing is radiation, but That's neither here nor there. They're the pew-pews.
Yeah, but I don't. Can we broadside it if we're backing up and it's heading towards us? Can we do that?
I mean, there's no reason why the ship can basically in vector combat. The ship can basically twist on its axis, and
Mm,
there's nothing to stop it. I mean, that reverse thrust once it's going backwards, you shut the engines off, and you can use maneuvering jets to just twist the whole thing around. So,
gotcha. Okay. All right. That's a lot of guns. I like a lot of guns. I like a lot of. I like a. It's like a giant shotgun blast,
right. Or like,
but they're
the old
aimed.
pirate movies where the entire side of the ship opens up with cannon fire.
I love the idea of doing that in a space battle, so I want to do that just for the cool factor.
Okay.
I'm behind it.
All right. So, you can make a gunner turret plus dex +1 for target lock, and if you want to use all 5 of that of fire control, you can add an additional +5. So
I mean, seeing as I'm the bottom of the turn, there's no reason for me to not use it because next turn, if he wants it, he can have it.
that's true.
There's no reason for me to not do it.
That is true.
Take it all. Take my love.
Take my love. You, you made me lose my train of thought. Ooh, that's gonna be a critical. So roll 1d, 1d plus 8 times 52.
Okay. I'll let you do the 52.
I'll do the
do the D
52.
plus 8.
Yeah, do the 1d plus 8. So, so
11. Oh, and I could do that math. 572.
572 damage. But
Wait, that's not that much damage, actually.
no.
Unless there's. Damn it. It was cool, but it didn't hurt much.
Well,
Wait, you say this?
if you consider if you were it actually comes out to 560 because the Leviathan has plus 12 protection plus 12 or 12 plus for its armor, right? So
Mm.
if this was another ship, especially if it was a smaller ship or like a squadron of fighters coming in, 572 points of damage would be absolutely devastating. Um, most far traders would just get obliterated in one single broadside, just to give you an example. But so
That's a Leviathan.
right. Let's see here. So 560. Brings it down to
Probably should have saved that for when it got close range.
So you definitely hit it. I mean, I'm sure that some of the lasers missed for theatrical effect, but it gets drilled by a number of these lasers. It and I shouldn't have deleted
Says,
that.
fuck your couch.
It regenerates 120.
What? Not only did I only do 500 damage, but it regenerated some of that.
Yes, it regenerated some of it. It's still down from from where it started, but yes, it has
You were correct. We should have killed it with fire.
it has a regen of 120 per round. Now, so Mel, you're in this amount of time, the analysis that you have gone over, you determine that it is possible with it absorbing this radiation from the spinal mount weapon that it can't. What is the total number here?
Dare say I can spit it back in us. Don't you dare say I can spit it back in us.
It can't. It doesn't look like it can spit it back. It looks
Okay,
like,
cool.
oh, 2D times 500 hull points. It can regenerate if you were to. It seems like it has. It's adapting. So what you know about leviathans in the past is that they will actually, similar to like a starship skimming fuel, they actually dive into the outer edges of a gas giant and just gobble up the gas and whatnot, which is almost always irradiated in some way. Those impurities are filtered out through the filtration system in a ship's purifiers. This thing is feeding on the radiation from the spinal mount weapon, which may allow it to regenerate more.
Not if we kill it first. Regenerate 5,000 points of damage, bitch.
Well, there's that too. I mean,
It's like Wolverine. Sure, he can regenerate, but if you do more damage than he can regenerate, it doesn't matter.
right. Um, it says, let's see, it'll take normal damage on the first attack. Next round, it will regenerate 2d times 500 hull points. The new tissue will be twisted fungal growth of the Deepnight entity. Uh, it will actually just cause the entity to kind of grow and keep going with this thing. What would Mo like to do?
Is that all it did on its turn? Was the regrowing?
Uh,
Just making sure it didn't do some other crazy thing. You're like, oh yeah, by the way. Hey, you didn't say it. It's Mel's turn. Mel, take your turn. Quick, take your turn. You
yeah,
didn't say
it
it.
didn't
That's
do
the
anything. Go for it, Mel. You're right. Yeah, it just kind of goes and regenerates like Neo.
All right. We need another big gun, don't we? Man, who
The other
has
thing,
Gunner?
the other thing that I was so we have all these beam
not have
weapons.
like a gunner on this ship.
Yeah, you've got plenty of gunners. Like I said, you can give them an order and they'll do something. Um,
They have better than me and gunner one.
I just find it really strange that Deepnight Revelation I mean, it was given this mission, right? It has the spinal mount. It's got 8 fusion barbettes. It's got sandcasters. It's got beam lasers. It's got point defense batteries, and not a single one of those turrets has a missile launcher in it. Not one. I I just think that's a little strange, don't you? I mean,
They decided that missiles were ineffective.
I would expect there would be, you know, a nuclear missile bay. you know?
Can we radio control one of our ships and turn it into a nuke?
Yeah. Yeah,
Didn't
you
we buy?
could.
Didn't we buy some fucking nukes?
You had the opportunity to, and I think that you guys decided that it was better to get to trade for the psionic device, the
Yeah, you're
drain
probably right.
psionic
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We did decide on that. I remember that. Dang it.
But to answer your question, yeah, you could theoretically. I mean, you've got these. Let's see. Here.
That would probably take time.
Da, da, da. I know it's
I'd like to go back in time and have this already retrofitted.
well, it wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't take that much time. Yeah. No, that's not what I want. Crafted vehicle. I want equipment. And why can't I find it? I made copies of all this shit. Oh, because there's really no stats for it. So you do have nuclear demolition charges. Uh, Deepnight Revelation carries 12 1 kiloton nuclear demolition charges. They are small enough to carry as a backpack, which probably make anybody who's got one strapped onto them a little bit nervous. And nuclear detonation is in a confined space. A nuclear detonation in a confined space will destroy almost anything, but for the most extreme of circumstances, there are, in addition to 10 megaton charges, and these require a vehicle for transport, but are capable of leveling part of a city, providing nuclear dampers are not in use. So you could order crews to load a nuclear charge up onto one of like the launches and send it, and you could theoretically radio control pilot that ship, fly by wire.
I fly. I know how to fly remote control. That I can do that.
Yeah, I mean that's an option.
All right. I mean, we need to get rid of him pretty quick, right?
I would say that
Please.
this would do it, because these things are these Leviathans are starship sized, and they have capabilities of a starship. At no point ever have they exhibited the ability to have nuclear dampers. You know, oh well, instead of a liver, I have a nuclear damper organ. No, they don't have that. So Mel, did you want to organize that?
I do. I
Okay.
do. We need to get rid of this thing.
Okay, so Mel,
And a big bomb sounds better than me trying to shoot something.
are you going with a 1 kiloton nuclear demolition charge or a 10 megaton?
My choice is a tactical nuke or a nuke. What you're
Right.
saying? 10 megaton versus 1 kiloton.
Right. Yeah.
It's a big.
I love that. Do I want to kill it or do I want to kill everything? Everything.
I don't know if a tactical nuke is going to be big. I mean, how much damage do you think a tactical nuke would do? I mean, this thing is ginormous.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's at least 10,000 tons in size, and that would be displacement tons, displacement of the creature in liquid nitrogen. So, or I'm sorry, liquid hydrogen. Um, I I mean,
Do we think we're gonna need these nukes later? Because if not, man, use what we got.
I know what I can do. What does a nuclear missile do? A nuclear missile.
Again, this is more like a nuclear shell as opposed to a nuclear missile, right?
Right, but
it doesn't have a massive warhead.
So
well, the 10 megatons kind of a massive warhead.
So this basically looks like so a nuclear missile looks like it does similar damage um to the spinal mount. But missiles are a little bit different, but yeah, it does. It says 1 DD, which is the way the spinal mount is listed, and it said that all spinal mounts do um, times 1,000 damage. So it says powerful missiles at lower tech levels using nuclear missiles near an inhabited planet or orbit is forbidden by interstellar law. Nuclear missiles inflict more damage than standard or advanced missiles and have the radiation trait. So yeah, this anything that is hit by a nuke would be times 10, and that's on a starship scale. So I mean, if you're talking about a 10 kiloton going off, or I'm sorry, a 10 megaton going off, I would say that that's probably at least. I doubt that these nuclear missiles are in the megaton range. If they are, they're probably like 1 or 2 megatons. These are anti-ship missiles, not artillery missiles. So I would guess that this would probably do 4 DD.
So what do you think? That enough, or do we need the big bad boy of the 10 megaton?
How many DD did you say it would do?
I would say that the 10 megaton would probably do 4 DD. So
The
it's
kiloton one would do
the
one,
kiloton. The kiloton would probably do 1 DD.
and the spinal mount does one.
Spinal mount does 2D times 1,000.
So the spinal mount's bigger and badder than this nuke that we have.
Yes, but
Well,
the spinal mount has some bigger drawbacks. So a nuke like these nukes that you have are basically designed to be brought someplace and placed. They're the nuclear version of a stick of dynamite. A the So if you compare the spinal mount weapon versus a nuclear missile, the spinal mount weapon is limited in that you have to be hitting a big target in space because uh, one, it has to be a big target because these things have very little in the way of tracking for targeting, right? So it only shoots in one direction. The other problem is you can't attack anything on the ground on a planet because the atmosphere will automatically attenuate the beam from the spinal mount weapon, and essentially what you'll get is a pretty light show. You'll get an aurora and maybe some lightning, and that's about as much as you're going to get on the ground. So spinal mount weapons have a definite downside to them versus,
but this would be one of the upsides is that we're in space fighting something in space.
true, true. But this thing, according to your sensor readings, it looks like a possibility that it might be able to regenerate if you use the spinal mount weapon. So if you wanted to take one of these 10 megaton nukes and throw it in a launch and remote pilot it and basically detonate it on its nose, I would say that a 10 megaton nuke would probably do 4D times 1,000 damage.
To be kind of like in Terminator, where home is like dodge this.
Right, right. I do agree. I think the one kiloton versions would probably do, you know, 1D times 10 damage to something like this, or maybe 1D times 100 damage.
Not enough. We need the big one.
Yeah, I think you'd want the big one.
Leave it to you, sir. Do you want to use the nuke or do you want to fire the laser?
Yeah, use
If you use the
let's-
nuke, I will probably fire the laser on my turn if there's anything left of it.
Well, then
So
I can't fly the thing by wire. You can. So
Oh,
maybe
right. I have to
let
do the
you
flying
do
part.
that.
Shit.
So
I have to fly
then
it. Yeah, my bad.
I'll help tee up another big laser shot, and hopefully combined, it will take care of that. Take care of our problems.
okay.
I support this plan.
Okay. So if you want to tee up another laser shot, go ahead and roll 2D plus 5. Or I'm sorry, 2D plus 6. You have a target lock. That is a hit. Roll 1D plus 1. Nice. Wait a minute. All right. Oh, because I hit the wrong button. That's better. All right. So again, all 52 lasers light off and kind of cut into the side of this space whale, and you can see chunks of matter coming off of it as the lasers kind of vaporize it off. Uh, the ship won't be ready to launch until next round. The crews are working as fast as they can, getting that 10 megaton nuke put into a launch. Pappy, what would you like to do?
Okay, so I can't do it this turn. Then it was healing about 100 per turn, maybe even if it does like 200, 300 per turn. The laser was doing thousands of damage.
Right,
The spinal mount was doing like, and I was with a crappy roll that it did that much.
right. But the estimate is that if it is able to heal from the spinal mount, it won't take any damage.
Mm.
It'll heal 2d times 500.
Eh,
But you've also
I like
got,
that.
but you have fusion barbettes as well.
And those don't have
Uh, the
anything they can absorb?
the fusion barbettes. I mean, probably not because the fusion barbettes are nuclear in and of themselves. And it says they do. It's not going to tell me because that would be too easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Fusion barbettes do 5d damage, and they have AP3.
Okay. Wait, 5D is not that much either.
Yeah, that AP3 is nice though.
Yeah.
I mean that drops its armor to 8.
Yeah, but that means in theory I could end up rolling poorly and do like 2 points of damage.
That's true. I mean, you could fire the beam lasers again.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's fire the beam lasers.
All right.
At least those are doing a guaranteed like 100 plus damage
So
kind of thing.
So Mel used the fire control on his attack. So yours would be gunner
Just
turret.
straight plus
Gunner,
one.
correct. Gunner turret plus your dex plus 1 for targeting.
Okay, gunner turret plus one.
Oof,
That'd be a miss, I
that
assume.
is a miss. Yeah, that is a miss. I'm sure that some of the lasers kind of glance off of it. Well, the first thing that it does.
First today I'm rolling a lot of ones. Except for when I needed a low roll. Mind you, then I got a
Yeah,
6.
yeah. Well, that you just need to, keep in your head, roll low, roll low, roll low, and that way you'll roll better. So it heals 120, and then it is going to thrust, and it rams Revelation. Now, what happens when it rams?
Now it's with us going backwards.
That's with you guys going backwards, unless you want to make a make a reaction of a difficult 12 plus pilot plus or pilot capital plus dex check.
No, I don't have capital. I just have pilot.
Well, I mean, they can do that. Uh,
Okay.
let's see.
I mean, I don't like the idea of us getting broadsided. Because then the entity is touching us, and that's a bad day.
So, yes, the pilot flying backwards is able to avoid getting rammed, which puts the Leviathan down here now. Oh,
Remind me to buy that pilot a drink later.
right? Oh, what the fuck? He's going to spit at -1. Oh, yes. So it spits, and two of these globs smash into the side of Deepnight Revelation, just kind of split. No, it doesn't appear that there's on your damage control board. No lights go off. It looks like it just spit gobs of crap on you, and that's it. I mean,
There's nothing organic on the outside of the ship for it to like eat, right?
no, but they are. I mean, it's this matter is technically alive. It is
So it can
fungal.
find its way into the cracks and stuff, right?
That is the primary fear. Yes. Um, Mel, what would you like to do? I mean, you could do the same thing that you did before.
I
I'm thinking
regret
what I
my
have to do.
curiosity.
I'm being unoriginal because I don't know how to. I don't have much to do with a giant ass ship in a fucking ship fight. So I'm gonna roll 2d6 plus 1. Is that right?
Correct. Or
Oh, no, you get the
two,
full 6 if you want it.
you can take 2d6 plus 6. Nice. Roll 1d plus 3. So it's going to take 220. So these lasers lance out and pierce through it again. Happy, the launch is ready to go. It's not a launch.
I shout to the captain to get us some distance.
Okay, so the captain will order crews to maneuver back at thrust 4.
Would this be starship or small craft?
This would be small craft. Or yes, small craft,
Okay,
because
cool.
this is the
I have both. I just wanted to make sure.
this is what is this called? The boat. They're just using a little 20-ton boat. 20-ton? 10-ton? Somewhere in there. It's small. It's negligible. Okay.
Ah!
No, it's a routine check. I mean, you launch the craft. Let me. What is the?
It's true. I just have to get near it. I don't have to actually hit it.
That's true. Well, I mean, there's that too. Yeah.
But I don't want us next to it when that boom goes boom.
Well, Deepnight Revelation has nuclear dampers, though.
Oh, right.
Basically,
We're special.
Shields against nukes. And I mean, it helps that they know that one's going to be going off, right? So.
Point.
Yeah.
We can plan for this.
Boat. Yeah, it's a 20-ton boat, and it has thrust 4. Yeah, next round you'll be able to make a piloting check to ram into this Leviathan. You're remote piloting this thing. It is going to regen.
Damn it, Wolverine, that's cheating.
Up to 60, 80. And you've dented it pretty good. And then it is. Oh.
I don't like the way you said that.
I'm gonna give you guys a gimme.
Okay. Because normally when you go, oh, that's bad for us.
So seeing the boat, the remote control boat coming towards it, it flies to ram the boat.
Because it's
Uh,
not smart.
so Pappy, you can make a piloting small craft plus Dex check to essentially hit your target.
Is
Mel,
it my turn for that?
I'm going to give it to you. Mel, do you have explosives?
Okay.
If
I
not,
don't think so.
if not, a member of the crew does.
I do. I do have explosives.
Okay. So, Pappy, these are essentially reactions to this.
Okay.
So Pappy, you can make a piloting small craft plus Dex check. Yeah. And Mel, as a reaction, you can make an explosives plus intellect or education check. Oof.
Are you fucking kidding me?
How did? Oh my God!
Snake eyes.
You double won. I don't even
It's
know.
hard for me to overcome something bullshit like that.
I
That's
don't
a
even.
that's
I don't
that's
even
an
know what.
epic fuck up.
I don't even know what that means. Holy
I'm
The
shit!
trigger
assuming
didn't trigger.
something really fucking bad.
Something didn't do what it was supposed to do.
Well, we will see what this says. So 8. A serious weapon malfunction. So Mel hits the button, and the nuke doesn't go off, but the Leviathan crashes into the shuttle, or the boat as planned. Dealing. Oh, shit.
Okay.
I'm assuming nothing good just happened.
Yeah,
Like,
it rams into the ship's boat, and the ship's boat breaks up on impact off of its nose and it just continues that straight line, just goes right through that shuttle and starts heading. It is continuing its course towards Deepnight Revelation. Mel, then make an electronic sensors plus intellect or education check, and this doesn't count as your action. So you are registering that the nuke is still online and active. You don't know where it's at, but the rest of your sensors are showing that the ship's boat just completely kind of obliterated on impact. I mean, parts of the shuttle are embedded in the flesh of this space whale. But your
Pull the
sensors
trigger again.
your sensors are registering that the nuke is still active.
okay, so if it's still
As
active,
Pappy, I'm gonna say, "What the hell happened to my nuke?"
Yeah, Pappy's
I missed. I fucked up.
Pappy's chain vaping on the bridge. I mean,
Well,
you could try hitting the button again. I mean,
yeah, I could. I mean, I'm assuming. Yeah, if it's within range of the Leviathan, then some percussive. I'm going to apply some percussive maintenance on the electronics. like we used to do with the side of the television, the cathode ray tube.
It sometimes works, man. I don't know why. It even works with solid state. I don't have an answer as to why.
It just is what it is.
Right? Okay, so a 9 is a success.
That is a straight 9. There's no bonuses. That's just percussive maintenance.
Let's see here. These are weapons. Yes, there we go. Screen, nuclear damper. All right, go ahead and roll 4D. Holy shit.
That's
Oh,
good. I did okay there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. So, wow. We're just gonna say that thing goes off. So the nuke, when the shuttle kind of tore apart and shredded on the snout of the space whale, parts of the shuttle were embedded, and part of that hull got embedded into the actual fungal matter that is growing all over the outside of this Leviathan. And you hit the button, and the nuke goes off. And there is far less of a flashy explosion than you might expect, because a nuke that goes off in space just isn't really that dramatic. But it is enough to destroy the space whale. Revelation doesn't take any radiation damage. It says no, it doesn't. It 5 nuclear dampers reduced. Oh, yeah, it doesn't take any damage at all. The nuclear dampers kind of just block all of the radiation and nuclear energy that comes in. But both of you can make a recon plus intellect check.
I see nothing.
Mel, so the
I only get a hazy idea with an 8.
everybody on the bridge is cheering at this nuke going off and this space whale threat being obliterated. And Mel, you out of the corner of your eye, you see a flashing on the damage control board, and you register that there are damage reports coming in, that there is something aboard the ship.
This is bad.
Okay.
This is so bad. Flamethrowers. Everybody get the flamethrowers.
And I think that's probably a good spot to break for this week. But I will tell you that they are. Let me bring up this other diagram. This is better for like damage control and whatnot. You are registering that there are that there is like creeper tentacles breaking through the hull, and they are happening down here in Deck 2 mission module cargo hold, and they are, there it is, breaking through on Deck 1 scientific module into the training facilities. And that's from where
I think this is going to qualify as when the time comes. I'm putting it in the chat.
that's where
this qualifies as
that is where those globs hit.
Oh, goody.
party in the USA.
And so we will break here until next week and pick it up with you guys dealing with this internal threat.
All right, cool. That was. I'll figure something out. I'll do something better next time.
Hey, man, the nuke did its job. The
Hey,
nuke did its job.
it worked, right?
And it was dramatic.
It wasn't
And it was
pretty, but it was
dramatic. I love
dramatic. There was that dramatic pause.
Like, what? It kind of felt like in The Dark Knight where, like, the Joker's walking away from the thing and he presses the button. He's like,
Yeah,
And
nothing
like,
happens.
whoa.
Yeah. Hits it a couple times, then it explodes. Yeah, no, that works.
Mhm.
All right, well, you guys have a good night, and hopefully next week we can have all of you. Be fantastic.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
No
Have
problem.
a good one, guys.
Yeah, have a good night, guys.
Thanks.